Arabic learning must be easy. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Luay. Welcome to the lecture number 13 of the language course on our channel, Academia Dimashq or Damas Academy. Here we go. What shall we do today? So, in this video, we'll learn about the following. Step number 1 is the introduction, where today we will get to know the sixth number. In the second step, we will learn the letter number 13. And the last part of our lecture today is grammar. In this lecture, we will continue to work with the second type of verbs, but in the imperative case. The number 6, we say الرقم ستة. الرقم ستة. رقم means number and ستة means 6. The sort of lam in الرقم is lam shamsiyya because the first letter in the word is ra. So الرقم ستة is written by drawing a horizontal line with a vertical line. We see that in this video. The number 6 الرقم ستة ستة. There is two ways to write ستة because the letter sin. So الرقم ستة 6 with second sixth, then we have 66 and 6 more, then 666, etc. Let's move on. Our letter today is called Sheen. The Sheen is roughly written by drawing 3 semicircles, one after the other, with the addition of 3 dots or a head of the arrow on top. There is the explanatory video that clearly shows how to write the Sheen. So, as we learned in our series that the letter have different forms, the letter Sheen has 3 forms, namely how it's written at the beginning of the word, middle or end of the word. We will see that in the following examples. Now, the video. حرف الشين. حرف الشين. حرف means letter. The original form of Sheen. There is, as I said, there is 2 ways to write Sheen, and both ways are correct. At the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. Let's continue. Here we have 2 examples of the first form of the letter Sheen at the beginning of the word. As simple examples, we have here the noun shams. Shams. So, fatha on Sheen. sukun on meme, and sukun also on sin. Shams. Shams means sun, and the sun would be ash-shams. Ash-shams. And the second example, the noun shita. Shita. So kasra under sheen and sukun on hamza. Shita. Shita means winter, and the winter would be ash-shita. Ash-shita. So we notice that al with the letter sheen occurs lam shamsiya. Ash-shams, ash-shita. An interesting note for you would be we learned that there are two kinds of lam, either lam shamsiya or lam qamariya. The derivation of the sort lam shamsiya comes from the letter sheen because we ignore the lam in al-ta'rif with nouns which begin with sheen, as in the examples shams with al-ta'rif is ash-shams, shita, ash-shita. Therefore, grammarians have marked this sort of lam with well-known thing beginning with the letter sheen, namely shams, so the sun. Let's move on. On this slide we have the same examples but with all sorts of tashkilat and tanween. If you have not watched Tanween's lecture or would like to watch it again, you can refer to lecture number 3. There I explained Tanween in detail. So the noun shams is a noun without al-ta'rif, so without an article. So here tanween is used at the end of the noun, so that shams with tanween al-fath would be shamsan, with tanween al-dam shamsun, and with tanween al-kasr shamsin. Now the noun with al-ta'rif ash-shams, we don't use any more tanween, but we will continue with tashkilat, so that ash-shams with fatha at the end, ash-shamsa with dhamma at the end, ash-shamsu, and with kasra, ash-shamsi. Now the second example, shita, with tanween al-fath would be shita'an, with tanween al-dhamm shita'un, and with tanween al-kasr shita'in. Now the second example, shita with al-ta'rif, ash-shita, with fatha at the end, ash-shita'a, with dhamma, ash-shita'u, and with kasra, ash-shita'i. Here is an important note regarding tanween al-fath. When we use tanween al-fath, we must add the letter alif at the end of the noun, as in the example of shams, shamsan with alif. So an alif is added at the end. The rule only occurs with tanween al-fath, but not to the other sorts. However, you may have noticed that in the case of tanween al-fath, in the second example, shita, shita'an, there is no alif inserted. The reason behind it's the letter hamza, end of shita. As I said, there are certain letters like hamza or ta marbuta in the previous lecture. When they appear at the end of the word, then we use tanween al-fath without an addition of alif. Now a video to show how to write the examples. Shams, and with al-ta'rif ash-shams. The second example, شتاء شتاء. and with التعريف الشتاء. Let's continue. On the next slide, we also have two examples, but from the second form of the letter Sheen, namely the noun Mushkila. Mushkila. So, ضمة on ميم, سكون on شين, كسرة under كاف, فتحة on لام, and سكون on تاء مربوطة. مشكلة. مشكلة means problem. The problem would be المشكلة. So, لام قمرية, because the first letter in the word is meme. And the second example, the noun Varsha. Varsha. So, فتحة on واو, سكون on راء, فتحة on شين, and سكون on تاء مربوطة. Varsha. Varsha means workshop. The workshop would be الورشة. So, lam qamariya has also occurred here because the first letter in the word is waw. So, the noun mushkila is a noun without al-ta'rif. With tanween al-fath would be mushkilatan. With tanween al-dam mushkilatun. And with tanween al-kasr mushkilatin. Now, with التعريف المشكلة with فتحة at the end المشكلة with ضمة المشكلة and with كسرة المشكلة. Now the second example ورشة with تنوين الفتح ورشة with تنوين الضم ورشة and with تنوين الكسر ورشة. Now, the noun with التعريف الورشة, we don't use تنوين anymore. So, with تنوين الفتح at the end الورشة, with تنوين الضم الورشة, and with تنوين الكسر الورشة. Now, a video to show how to write the examples. مشكلة مشكلة and with التعريف المشكلة. And the next example Varsha with تشكيلات ورشة ورشة with التعريف الورشة. Next, we have two examples of the third form of Sheen, but at the end of the word, namely the noun قماش. قماش. So, كسرة under قاف and سكون on Sheen. قماش. قماش means cloth or textile. The cloth or textile would be القماش. القماش. So, لام قمرية, because the first letter in the word is قاف. In the second example, the noun نقش. نقش. So, فتحة on نون, سكون on قاف, and سكون on شين. نقش. نقش means carving. The carving would be النقش. النقش. So lam shamsiya, because the first letter in the word is noon. The sheen in the first example, قماش, is irregular because sheen comes at the end of the word and takes the original form, because the previous letter in the word is alif, and alif can only be connected with the previous letter but not with the next one, so partly. Here the first example, قماش, is a noun without al-ta'rif. So now with تنوين الفتح قماشا, with تنوين الضم قماش, and with تنوين الكسر قماش. Now the noun with al-ta'rif القماش, we don't use تنوين anymore, so with فتحة at the end القماش, with الضمة القماش, and with كسرة القماشي. Now the second example, نقش, with تنوين الفتح نقشا, with تنوين الضم نقش, with تنوين الكسر نقش. Now the noun with التعريف النقش, we don't use تنوين anymore, so with فتحة at the end النقش, with ضمة النقش, and with كسرة النقش. Now a video to show how to write the examples. قماش, with التعريف القماش. And the second example, نقش, نقش, نقش. That was all regarding the 13th letter Sheen. And finally we come to the grammatical part. Today we will continue to deal with the second kind of verbs, but today we work with imperative case. As a reminder, the second type we are dealing with is called الفعل الرباعي. So this type includes all verbs whose letter in ماضي are 4 belong to this type. Now on this slide we have the second kind of verb, السيطرة. This verb is called سيطرة in ماضي, يسيطر in مضارع, and finally سيطر in أمر. We notice that the verb in ماضي consists of 4 letters. Let's continue. Now on this slide we start by conjugating the verb in أمر, so in imperative case. Number 1 we have سيطر, directly without to say أنت سيطر, directly سيطر. سيطر means control for masculine. Number 2 سيطري. سيطري means control for feminine. Number 3 سيطروا. سيطروا means control for plural masculine. Now a video to show how to write them. أنت سيطر. سيطر. direct. سيطر. أنت سيطري. But we say directly سيطري. سيطروا. أنتم سيطروا. Or we say directly سيطروا. Here finally we have number 4. أنتن سيطرن. We say سيطرن means control for plural feminine. And number 5 سيطرا. سيطرا means control for 2 persons. And now the video. أنتن سيطرن. directly سيطرن. And finally أنتما سيطرا. سيطرا. أنتما سيطرا. That's it for this lecture. To practice writing the letter Sheen, I have attached a PDF file in the info box below. You can print it out and then take your time to practice writing with it. I have also prepared a small quiz which you can also print out. And finally, in a third document, I summarized the content of the lecture. I hope that the lecture was easy and understandable for you. So good luck and see you next time.